This morning's guest went from 100 chickens to building 4 homes a week, and now he's building a dream. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in People's Underwriters in Carolina Forest. We're focused on the L.W. Paul, Horry County Living Farm Museum. And we're visiting with L.W. Paul, Larry Paul himself. Good morning, Larry. You mind if I call you Larry?
Please do.
L.W., of course, is something we see all over. And, of course, it was L.W. Paul, both your construction company and on the real estate side.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
That's something you've been going by for have you ever gone by L.W. or has it always been Larry?
Few people call me L.W., but it's Larry Wayne, so my company was L.W. Paul, and so the museum will take that name.
Absolutely. Very exciting, and the museum's going to be out on
701 North toward Loris. It's actually on the Harris Shortcut Road and 701, a lot of frontage on 701. Of course, it'll be fenced, and it's just prior to getting to the J. Reuben Long Prison.
Oh, great. So
on 701 North.
Know exactly where
out
to
of
go.
Conway.
It's about 5 miles outside of Conway.
Not even that far, yes.
Is that right? Okay. What prompted the opportunity to open up the L.W. Paul Horry County Living Farm Museum? What was it?
Well, Greg, I grew up very, very poor on a one-horse Horry County dirt farm. I grew up in the Pauley Swamp section of Horry County near Bucksport, actually between Pauley Swamp and Bucksport. We lived in little tenant frame houses and actually bought our farm that was an old family farm when I was 4, a little small one-horse farm, and of course developed it over the years by hand clearing into a 2-horse farm. That is to say, we had 1 mule, and then as we got enough land cleared, we eventually had to get 2 mules. But we had 1 mule and 1 milk cow and chickens and pigs, and we lived close to land, very, very poor. But it was a wonderful environment to learn and to learn to work. My dad taught 3 simple things: work hard, be honest, and be a good neighbor. And I tried to live those traits, and the good Lord blessed me, and as I progressed, now I'd like to give back, and I'd like for the people to know that lifestyle in perpetuity, so that we're going to rebuild on this site on 701 a one-horse farm similar to the one I was born on, and have 1 milk cow,
1 milk cow,
1 mule, some pigs and chickens, and make butter and make grits and make sugarcane syrup and make lye soap and make all the things that we lived on. In fact, this farm will date even a little bit before I grew up into a little earlier period in the 1900s.
I saw that, 1900 to 1955.
Yeah, a little earlier. So the complex will have the tenant house, just like they lived in, the outhouse, the smoke house, the pack house with the stables, the tobacco barn, we'll grow some tobacco, and all the activities, your wash pot, the place to scald the pigs, everything you would have had in a one-horse farm. In addition to that, on the same grounds, we will have a large building that will house classrooms so that we can have students from schools to come out and learn about their culture and their ancestors and where they come from. And we'll have a snack bar and gift shop where they can buy jellies and things that will grow on the farm.
A visitor center.
Yeah, visitor center. And course, offices and bathrooms and that sort of thing.
This will be a pretty sizable facility,
Yes,
Larry.
and on that same grounds, on another area, we'll have, to the right of the farm, we'll have the grits mill running, the old blacksmith working. We make sugar cane. We'll have different projects along. And then most every weekend we hope to have special activities like making the syrup, making quilts, or making lye soap, something that will be very interesting. And we are hopeful that this will draw millions of people.
Wow, Larry.
We're hopeful that we'll be on like the Gray Line tours for Myrtle Beach, because this will be a very, very good destination, a learning destination that we think will be of keen interest to old and young alike.
That's very exciting. Well, probably something that, now, is this something they've been thinking about or something you'd been thinking about? And the folks at the Horry County Museum been contemplating this?
What happened was, I have collected those old implements, tools, implements, tractors, harnesses, buggies, wagons that came from the periods we're talking about at my home in Socastee.
Is that right?
Together with lots of American Indian artifacts.
Right.
So I decided that I am at a point that I thought I should share those with mankind. So I called the museum and told them I had some artifacts I would like to donate to the new museum, because there's going to be a big museum there on Main Street where the old Borough School was.
Right. So
they came and looked, and it seemed that I had more artifacts than they did. So, and I told them I would give them all my artifacts, the Indian, everything they wanted, the old guns. So
good for you.
They came back and said, wait a minute, have you thought about, and they came up with the L.W. Paul Living Museum and asked me did I have an interest in that. So I agreed then to commit the money,
some funds to help
to build it.
Absolutely.
And that's how it got started.
The county
the county, all of the county officials thus far have been wonderful. They've donated a wonderful piece of land that's going to make this even more successful.
Right.
The entire county, the chairman, all of the people, Danny and I, all of the people have been very, very kind and receptive, and it looks like it's going to be a very, very successful project.
Praise the Lord, Larry. Well, that is wonderful. If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school and they want to learn more about the Living Farm Museum, about the Horry County Museum in general, or even to talk about volunteering or donating more dollars to help underwrite this cause, is the 915-5320 phone number the best number to call?
That is the best number, yes.
Okay, great. And who would they want to ask for? Is there anyone in particular?
Well, the curator is Walter Hill, and Walter is a young man from the Plantersville area. He's, in fact, my father worked for his grandfather in Georgetown, so the Hills go back along. He does a wonderful job, and he will be glad to assist you. We have applications for volunteerism, so that we can have. We're hopeful to get a lot of volunteers, starting now and right on through when it's. If we could get people now that are interested in construction phases of it, or have any ability in carpentry or dirt work or farming, please come to the museum and apply, so that we can get you approved as a volunteer. And once we get you approved, when we have activities, we can just call you and you're free to come and work. There's a couple of little forms we have to take care of so that we have you approved ahead of time. Right. So once we have you approved, if we need you, we can just call you, and you're free to come and work and help with the project.
I love it. Larry, earlier this morning you also mentioned another name of someone who's going to be intimately involved in the L.W. Paul Living Farm Museum. Wayne Skipper, I believe.
Wayne had a little living farm near Nichols, and he had it open maybe for a day or two a year, just as a kind of a festive thing, and it was successful. Sure. It's a smaller project than we're doing, so I went and talked to Wayne, and we was able to contract with Wayne, and Wayne is an outstanding young man. He's a hard worker, and he's doing us a wonderful job, and we have him on retainer with the museum to build this project, and I am hopeful that he will end up being overseeing this right on. I'm hoping he'll be our permanent person out there. But anyway, Wayne is a good guy, and you can get a hold of Wayne if somebody wants to talk to him through the museum.
Sure.
Wayne will be one of the main straw balls on the job doing the work.
That's enough, yeah.
So
okay.
Wayne Skipper's the two contact people would be Wayne Skipper,
right?
Of course.
Walter Hill out there, 843-915-5320. In addition, they got a great looking website, horrycountymuseum.org. There's not yet a lot of links there about the Living Farm Museum because this is really something y'all have gotten rolling in the near term.
We just started.
Right.
Wayne has just got the smokehouse completed. We've got the pole skint for the chicken coop.
Right.
So in the next 30 days, we'll be going great guns out there.
How exciting.
So yes, it's very, very exciting.
Growing up there on the on this very
modest
location, with brothers and sisters helping out, or was it just your folks and you?
I was down in the list. My oldest sibling was a sister. She, of course, was hardworking. The next oldest, Bill and Walter, are two older brothers, and of course they were in it deep. They worked real, real hard. Betty got married when I was a child. Bill was always there and always worked hard. Bill was one of the hardest working men I ever met, and Bill was my older brother, yes. And Walter was too, but Walter left when I was like 14 or 15 and went to the military. But
so there were four of y'all, four children.
There was six total.
Oh, six.
Then there was two younger,
right? Okay.
Sam and Esther.
Right.
They maybe didn't have it quite as tough as the rest of us.
Y'all had expanded to a second mule by that point, yeah.
Yes.
How fascinating. Do you have vivid memories of this, Larry? Is this something
absolutely?
You
I
do?
remember. Yes, of course. I remember holding the plow to plow the box when I had to hold it like this because I was too short, just a kid. And at 6 years old, I was driving the mule with the crates of tobacco. And
at age 6?
At age 6, yes.
And we hear about, of course, you're a father yourself. You tell stories about your own children later in life, and they sound so almost comical as a parent of you. I've got a 5-year-old, and I try to imagine my 5-year-old daughter doing things, but you have memories back to age 4. I mean, you've got vivid memories, it sounds like.
Sure. We moved from one tenant house into the house we bought was like a 1.5 mile journey on a dirt road. And we moved when I just turned 4. And my oldest sister walked and led the milk cow down those roads to move to the new home. And my job was to drive the calf and keep the calf in tow behind her mama on that journey. And I was 4. So we always had things to do. We had, and my job was to feed the mule. My mule was named Sue, and my job was to feed the mule. And so we, all of us had chores, and we all worked very hard. We did the field work, and we cleared land. We dug up and picked up stumps and roots and cleared more land. And we started out with just, 6 acres of land, and when I left home, we had like 50 acres cleared.
Is that
most of it by hand?
Wow.
So it was, and then it started going back the other way. Now, part of that, it was cleared back in pine trees.